The clock ticked past midnight. Eleanor, hunched over spreadsheets, was the only one left in the office. Her desk lamp cast a lonely glow, reflecting in the darkened windows. Exhaustion tugged at her, but the promise of tomorrow kept her going. The promotion was within reach. Years of dedication were about to pay off, or so she thought. A shadow fell across her desk. Eleanor looked up, startled. It was Mr. Caldwell, her boss, his usual polished self even at this hour. He offered a charming smile, but his eyes held a glint that sent a shiver down her spine. "Working hard, Eleanor," he purred, his voice smooth as silk. Eleanor, though wary, managed a tired smile. "Just finishing up, Mr. Caldwell. Didn't expect to see you here so late." He chuckled, a low rumble in his chest. "Dedication like yours is why you're up for the promotion, Eleanor," he said, moving closer. His cologne, usually a pleasant aroma, suddenly felt suffocating. "However," he continued, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, "there are other ways to ensure your success." Eleanor's stomach clenched. The air crackled with unspoken implications. She knew with a sickening certainty where this was headed. He leaned closer, his hand brushing her arm. "You know what I want, Eleanor," he murmured, his gaze lingering on her face. The promotion, the one she'd worked so hard for, was now a bargaining chip in his twisted game. Disgust and rage warred within her. This wasn't mentorship, this was manipulation. Years of suppressed anger bubbled to the surface. The casual sexism, the inappropriate jokes, the constant undermining of her abilities, all came flooding back. But this was the final straw. This was her line in the sand. Eleanor took a deep breath, composing herself. She wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her crumble. "I think you have me confused, Mr. Caldwell," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor running through her. "My work speaks for itself." He straightened, his smile fading into a mask of annoyance. "Don't be naive, Eleanor," he scoffed. "This is how the game is played. You can either play along or—" He let the threat hang in the air, heavy and ominous. But Eleanor was no longer afraid. She had an ace up her sleeve, a last-ditch desperate measure. "Or what, Mr. Caldwell?" Eleanor challenged, reaching into her bag. He frowned, confused by her sudden confidence. Before he could react, she pulled out a device that resembled a mini high-tech hairdryer. It hummed with an eerie blue light. "What is this nonsense?" he sputtered, taking a step back, but Eleanor was already aiming the device at him, her finger on the trigger. "This, Mr. Caldwell," she said, her voice cold and resolute, "is a little something the boys in R&D have been working on. Consider it karma." And with a press of the button, a beam of blue light engulfed him. Caldwell screamed, a high-pitched, terrified sound. He stumbled back, clutching at himself as if trying to hold his own skin together. Then the screaming stopped. He stood there, trembling, his expensive suit hanging loose on his suddenly much smaller frame. He looked up at Eleanor, his eyes wide with confusion and dawning horror. He was a child again, trapped in his own memories. The years of arrogance and entitlement were gone, leaving only fear and vulnerability. Eleanor stared at him, a strange mix of satisfaction and pity stirring within her. This wasn't how she imagined it, but a sense of grim justice prevailed. What did you do to me?" Caldwell whimpered, his voice small and childlike. Eleanor didn't answer. She picked up her phone and dialed a number. "Hello, Mary, I need a favor. Can you pick me up with your van? I seem to have found a lost child," Eleanor said with a wink to him. Caldwell's eyes widened in terror as he understood. He'd been de-aged and now currently being kidnapped. He, the CEO, the man who once held her fate in his hands, was now at her mercy. He tried to protest, but the words came out in a jumble of childish threats. Eleanor bundled him into the van, ignoring his feeble attempts to resist. She even found a juice box for him along with a plush toy, the absurdity of the situation almost making her laugh. He glared at her with impotent fury, his bottom lip trembling. As the van pulled away, Eleanor looked back at Caldwell, strapped into a booster seat, clutching a stuffed animal. Mary had loaned Eleanor the device as a just-in-case for protection. He met her gaze, his eyes filled with a fear he'd never known. He was facing a different kind of consequence, a long, slow burn of humiliation and helplessness. He wouldn't be a threat to anyone for a very long time, Puberty would a long way off, and by then she hoped he'd learn a lesson far more valuable than any promotion. The road to redemption was long and arduous, but at least he had time, plenty of time. His new mothers would make sure of that.